producer Theron Cal says he's on a mission to help black folks. He says black folks are filled with self-hate. Melodie Cochran is the daughter of the famed attorney Johnny L. Cochran. Her lifestyle includes relationships and activities that, according to Theron, makes her a sellout. Please welcome Theron Cal and Melodie Cochran.
Now that is like a very aggressive statement to start off with you.
Do you know this woman to call her a sellout?
No, I've never met her.
What is a sellout?
So why is
My definition of a sellout is somebody who's black, who is harming or hurting other blacks, and someone who's black who dates and or marries non-blacks.
So what category does Melodie fall under for you to call her a sellout?
Well, I don't know, but if she's dating outside of her race, then she would fall into category number 2.
Okay, but I guess the question I'm asking is, apparently from the information we got, you feel the lifestyle that she is participating in makes her a sellout.
Absolutely.
So I'm trying to get to the point of what about her lifestyle have you categorized as selling out?
Usually when somebody sells out in terms of dating, interracial dating, usually what's going on is there's 3 things that go on. 1, they don't like being black. 2, they're not too comfortable with themselves.
Now, is this your own opinion, or how did you get?
And 3, they basically would prefer white culture.
Okay.
Okay.
So what do you base this on? Is this your own personal?
This is the research. You know, in doing the Sellout Diaries, we did a lot of research. We talked to a lot of people. I've been on this planet for 30-some-odd years, and I mean, it's common sense. I mean, people avoid what they don't like. They gravitate towards what they like. You're right. So we don't go out and you know, eat things we don't like. We don't hang around people we don't like. And when you choose to exclusively date outside of your race, I mean, you don't have to do an extensive study to figure out what's going on. She's avoiding black men because she doesn't like them. I mean, we can be honest.
Now, Theron, what if you like a little variety?
That's okay. You can sell out and then come back home, and that's all.
So
we don't have a problem with that.
So is this only for black culture or for all? As being a Latina, am I supposed to only date Latino men?
No, I don't really address the Latino issue because I think there's enough going on not to be insensitive. But for the definition as we as black folks think of selling out, I'm talking about black people.
Okay, well, Melodie, I only think it's fair to let you address his accusations. Now, are you dating out of your race?
Yes, I am. I date out of my race, but I go by whether I like the person or not. If we have a similar background, things like that, if we have things in common. I like to do some things that I guess Theron would say that black people don't do.
That's a stereotype. That's not true. But go ahead.
But like I snow ski, I love water
Black people can't snow? Black people don't like water?
No, I hope they do. But it's the same thing with dating outside of my race.
Okay, would you tell the truth? You don't like black people. You don't like black men. Just tell the truth. It's okay. Nothing wrong with it. But wouldn't you date black men if you liked them?
I do date black men.
Okay.
But I also date white men.
Wrong.
And I've dated some other Hispanic men as well.
Okay, well that's selling out too. But I'm just trying to I'm trying to get you to explain. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm not saying don't do it. Okay? If I like to play golf.
So are you a sellout?
No, because golf is not selling out. It's not hurting black people, and it's not dating someone who's not.
But it's a white
dating somebody of another color.
Well, it's a self-expression. It's like bleeding. Why do you bleed? Because you're cut. Okay. Why do you date outside of your race? Because you don't like your race. Because you don't like black men or white.
I'm not exposed to talk here. Excuse me for a second. Excuse me for a second. No. Wait a minute.
But go ahead.
I love black people, and I even use the N-word because I do. But I don't agree with what you just said. And the bottom line is, here's what I'm going to say. A person who sells that, who gets in front of TV and badmouths her, is hurting a black person, and therefore you are a sellout.
Oh,
that's
right.
You understand what I'm saying, though? I mean, I'm using your definition.
No, that's not true, because telling somebody that they're about to hit a brick wall or that they're harming a black race.
Now you're starting to change the definition. Stay with me. Stay with me.
The definition is, I'm not hurting her by saying that she should love her own race, her own self, and date her own race.
No, I'm not saying that.
Why is that hurting her?
Here's what you're doing. You're taking your definition and applying it to her world. You're saying you're the only, wait a minute, you're the only one who's right. See, I believe black people live in a hostile environment. And I believe any place black people in America can find happiness, I'm for them. So they ain't selling out. No, they ain't selling out. Wait a minute. They ain't selling out. They just trying to make themselves happy in a hostile environment. Now, having said that, are there things that we need to do? Certainly. Okay, but not beat each other up.
No, and I'm not trying to beat the sister up. I'm just simply, if the sister came on this show and said, look, I don't like black men. I wish I was white. I don't want to do nothing with the black culture. I want me a white man. I can't stand black men. I wouldn't have a problem with it. But don't come on here and say, oh, it's not selling out to hate myself and hate my race. But all you have to do is say, I hate myself, I hate my race, I don't like black men, I want a white man, I want to be white.
Here's the problem.
I'm going to shake your hand and say, go head on.
No, but here's the problem. You're assuming somebody hates you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't mad at you. You just assuming
so you love black men.
Yes.
So you only date white men, but you love black men.
I didn't say I only date white men.
She said
I never
And
said
I have
that.
to say, through my observation right here, you're very defensive, and I'm thinking maybe there are issues here that, you know, go
there are
beyond
issues.
that.
There are. I can say them right now. I love my people.
I have to say, as
I don't want to see no black sister hating herself.
As a people, for years, we've been trying to convince people, don't judge us by our skin color, judge us by our
I know,
soul
and
by
has
our
it worked?
spirit. Now you're asking us to do the same to
accept
them.
who you are.
Okay, I got a question.
What I
Are
am.
you a sellout?
She's right.
Are
She's
you a
absolutely
sellout?
right. I don't consider myself a sellout because I'm not harming black people by telling them to stop hating themselves and
But
stop
you're
hating who
making
they
a
are.
profit on them.
Now, by telling them that and by making a profit out of sellouts, they are doing good. Sellouts are helping me to feed a black family. Thank you, sellouts. Let's give the sellouts a hand. I'm hoping that they push
Wait
us
a
over
minute,
the
now
top.
you also said you also had cities that you felt if black people lived in,
Yes.
they were selling out, and you are living in one of these
No, I
those
didn't
cities.
say that. Now, see, how did you confuse it like that?
Well, then straighten me out, 'cause I'm
in
confused.
putting together the Sellout Diaries, we did a survey, a scientifically done survey, where we decided the top 10 sellout cities in the world. Okay.
Wait a minute.
Now,
Okay, my point
living in these
exactly.
cities, and these are cities that are that welcome sellouts, that foster selling out, you know, that basically promote, make it comfortable, a place where sellouts can go and get their sellout on. Now, the truth of the matter is,
Sell out on.
now, if you
Okay.
live in a city, that's conducive to sellouts or that's friendly to sellouts, that doesn't make you a sellout. No different than walking across the street with a sellout or sitting next to a sellout on a talk show. That doesn't make you a sellout.
What makes you a sellout, though?
Selling out makes you a sellout.
Okay, here we have the cities.
Well,
Wait
a minute.
Dallas, San Francisco, Vancouver, Paris, New York, Washington, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, London, and Seattle.
So in order for you to do your research, you've had to live in all these cities.
I lived in Seattle. I lived in
So
New
then
York.
you're a
I lived in
sellout.
Los Angeles. But I don't have to live somewhere to know that it's raining in Seattle because I don't live there.
you lived in these
That's ridiculous.
cities, but you were never considered a sellout in these cities because you
No,
didn't do.
I lived in sellout cities, but to sell out, you have to sell out. You can't be a murderer because you live in the same city as a murderer.
So you have
no,
to date
you have
somebody
to kill
white
somebody.
in these cities or do something
You
harmful
have
to
to date
somebody in
somebody
these
white.
cities
You have to sell
to be
drugs
a
to black
sellout in these
people. You
cities.
have to become Republican.
So if
you
I-
have to do something.
If I
Wait a
Makes
minute.
you a sellout.
If I
Wait a
just
minute.
date somebody white and then come back and date somebody black, does that mean I hated myself and I don't hate myself? What is that?
Basically, you were selling out and then you came home.
And then,
Yes.
I
Yes,
see. Then
that's-
I woke up. Is that
Well,
what that is?
That's pretty harsh.
I want to know about this
But it's
study.
just simply
But let me
true.
ask you, what if that's your environment?
If
What
you-
about
okay, so if you grow up in an environment where there's slavery, then you become a slave.
No, I'm
No,
not-
you fight it. You work hard against
What
it.
are you
look
fighting,
through
though?
it.
What are
You're
you
fighting the
fighting?
self-hatred.
And why do you do this? Why do you
Why
say
do you
we
fight
should?
the self-hatred?
Well, why should we date an African American date another African American? Why?
Because
is that?
we're trying to survive as a race. That's a basic human instinct
But
that black
you're
folks
saying we
have gotten
can't
away
survive.
from somewhere.
We can't survive.
We
if
can't survive if we're dead.
We're-
And if we don't reproduce, and if we don't get married, and if we don't take care of our black families, then we won't survive.
Okay,
I
now
have a
you wait a minute,
question.
you
And of course, racism will be over. See, sellouts, they tell that lie too.
Let me-
When all the black people are dead, racism will be over with. But is that what we really want?
Let me
But
ask
you're
you something,
sounding
Theron.
racist.
I know it sounds racist to say you're black and that you love black people and you,
You know
love
what?
your
We're
race.
done.
No, you know what? No, that's
no.
not
this is
that.
getting very heated, and we're going to be right back to finish this conversation.
Love it.